Alright, y'all. Back at it. Timing belt done. We're gonna do the clutch on it now. So let's get started. I guess we'll be under it. I'll film what I can, show you what we got going on, and let me show you the clutch we got for this thing. So you got loop clutch. There's your tool, your alignment tool, your pilot bearing, some cardboard pressure plate, and your clutch disc. So let's get to work, start crawling underneath this thing. All right, y'all, so we still want to got the tools cleaned up a little bit here. So I'm gonna take the wheel off so we can get in here and, well, as I say, get to the starter good. I don't know if might be hidden all the, yeah, I can see it better on this. Get this started, get it off. Then we got one bolt on the very top in the middle. This thing has a exhaust, it's a V6 of course, so it's got a thing that runs from one side to the other, but it's actually got just enough clearance you can get a socket onto that with top bolt up there in the middle. We're gonna go underneath and use a bunch of extensions. I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Might end up having to take the mount loose, drop it down a little bit to get up there high enough, but we'll try to get that one out first if we can. And then we'll go from there. We'll start taking the draw shaft out. If you look underneath, you gotta take the draw shaft out, and that should be about it really. The exhaust does not go underneath the transmission, so we don't take it out. So let's start getting these bolts and stuff out and get it out. All right, y'all, so we took the wheel off and get access in here. So the first bolt we took out, that's the starter, of course. Back in here, and get up in here. What I did is I got in there, I broke it loose with the wheel off, and then I used an extension with a swivel on the end and run the swivel here, extension down, put on my little small impact and run out the rest of the way. So now we got to get under here, and I've done took the bottom one out. I gotta get that top one out, and then as well, it's got one right there I need to take off, which actually if I can get that one off, I want to take the rest of them off to get the other starter bolt out, which you see it right at the top of that tip of that light right there is the other starter bolt. So get it out. So we'll probably take that bracket completely off. So it'll be that screw at the tip, that screw, or bolt rather, that bolt, and then we'll have the starter out, and then we can start taking the clutch stuff off the other side, get the jaw shaft out, and then we start getting the bolts out of the trans. But let's get it. Always make sure you unhook your battery too before you mess with the starter alternator. And I ain't gonna say I haven't made that mistake, but yeah, don't do that. All right, y'all, so we got the drive shaft out. This one is actually, got the front jaw shaft out. It bolted right here. Had studs on it here. Run through. Bolted up there. Got all the, where's my finger? Bolted right there. Got it out. This one is bolted on the front and the back. And it's got this center carrier bearing in it. Every one of these are 14s. Yeah. All of them are 14s. All the jaw shaft bolts, the carrier bearing, all of it's 14. So let's get these last 4 bolts out. We'll drop this jaw shaft out, and then cross member wise, you got these bolts that run through the cross member on each side. Drop this whole cross member out. We'll probably leave, if we can, leave this cross member on it. Don't take this mount off. We'll leave this whole cross member and just unbolt the cross member. Pull it out. Should be able to do that. Yeah. Pull it out, or drop it down, and we'll start getting these bolts out. Or well, actually we'll get these bolts out, then we'll drop it down, pull it off. But we also got, on this side, we got the clutch stuff we gotta take off. So let's just take some of this stuff off. All right, y'all, look here, we got her down. It's a little heavier than the transmission in my car. So this thing, I thought it had 1 bolt in the top, but it don't. It actually does have 2. So what we done is we actually went in through here, stuck my hand in from the other side. Of course, we had this wheel off. Got that other top bolt out. But as you can see, there's that exhaust piece I was talking about, but it actually clears the 2 bolts up there so you can get up there to it. We got her out. So we gotta get this pressure plate stuff off. And yeah, get the pressure plate off, get the pilot bearing out of it, get the throwout bearing out of this, put the new one on, and get it all put back on. But we got it out, so I think I'm gonna try to pull that off today and go from there. I don't know what else I'm gonna get done. So, all right, y'all. So we got it out. It don't look. I mean, it don't look horrible. It was just on the floor, so the little springs in it was wore out. So I'm gonna put the new one in it. We got that loop clutch in there, and then get the throwout bearing out of it. But it's slick. You can tell it's slick. So I don't know. But the clutch grabbed good. We didn't have an issue out of the clutch grabbing. What it was is it was just on the floor, so this pressure plate's just wore out. So anyway, we got the new one in there. I'm gonna finish, get this pilot bearing out, and we're good to go. All right, y'all. If you know, you know. So if you don't have a little tool, you can take bread, shove it in here. Take something we got rigged up here, put it in here, hammer it through. It pushes this bearing out little by little. It takes a little bit of time, but it works. You can get it out of there, and then when you get done, you can just clean the hole out of the bread and put the new one in. So let's get it. Here you go, y'all. She's out. You see us, I got the bread on there. Get the bread in here. We just get something, clean that out, get a little screwdriver or something, clean this out. Let's see if we can get it out with our fingers. It's pretty packed in here. Obviously, it has to be packed in there, but yeah. So we'll get this bread out, and then we can just take this bread and smash it up, make us a sandwich to eat some supper here in a little while. So let's get this bread cleaned out and get the other one put in. All right, y'all, so this is your alignment tool for a clutch. And this is obviously your clutch, and these splines work. So you have to get the alignment tool for your... Dad keeps blowing air in my face when he shuts this door. Comes right down through this hole up here. So obviously you have to get it for each one because all the splines are different for different vehicles. So pretty much you'll put this through here, and then this goes in here and holds it on that bearing till you can get the and it's got a little play in it, but it's supposed to be fairly close. And what that does is that sets the clutch. You just put the clutch on here, and then you can put the pressure plate on there and hold the pressure plate up and bolt that up and holds it in place. So let me show you, see if I can do this one-handed here. Get this stood up. And this goes up here. And it'll go. I don't know if I can get that one-handed. Just like so. So now it's in that pilot bearing, and this holds the clutch in place until, obviously, whenever you get the pressure plate up here, you can push it up and get that centered up, completely centered, because it has a little play in it here. So you can get that in there perfectly centered, bolt up your pressure plate, and you're good to go. So we're going to leave that right there for now. Get the pressure plate up here. I won't be able to film that, but yeah. And obviously you got your little pins. You got a pin here, and a pin up here. So you got to get those pins in the right spot, and then put your bolts in there and tighten them down. So let's get the pressure plate on, and yeah, looking good. All right, y'all, that's all she wrote. We got the clutch put back in, tighten them up on these. Me personally, I like to go in a crisscross pattern. You know, there. I like to go crisscross pattern, tighten them up a little bit at a time. Make sure it goes in. So that goes in and lines up in your pilot bearing in there. You gotta make sure it's staying in there and going in. So seems like everything's lined up. So I think we might try to set this thing back in. Might as well. So let's get it. All right, y'all. So on this, for the throwout bearing, this is what it looks like. Obviously, put new grease in there. What I'm gonna do on this one, this shift fork, this slides in there is how it stays on. I'm gonna slide the shift fork back, pull this off, like so. And then we're gonna clean all that off real good. We're gonna get some brake cleaner, clean all that off. And yeah, that's trash. It's spinning, but I can feel it. You probably can't hear it because of rain, but I can feel it grinding in there. So we can clean all this off, get it all good and clean. And then when you put it back in, that'll shove back up in there where it goes. And what it does is this will go on like this. Let's see, sorry. This will go on like this, and these clips right here is what holds that shift work onto that. So let me get some cleaner. I'm gonna get some brake cleaner, clean that off. I'll put some grease on. I got some grease that come with that we put in here already, but we'll put some more on there once we get it cleaned off. But we get something to clean this off a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like before we slide it back on. All right, y'all. So we got that cleaned off. Clean these off. We're gonna put some grease on there. We already got grease in this a little bit, so put some grease on that. Slide it in, get that back on, slide the transmission back in, and start jacking up, see if we can get this thing put back in today. Alright, y'all, as you can see, I put grease on here, but it ain't like, you don't want to cake it on there, you just want it on there so that clutch disc will slide on that a little bit. You don't want to cake it in here because you don't want to get it in the actual clutch. Then also I put it on that, so that slides, slide that back up in there, and see that pin there, or that clip. That thing slides right over that clip and goes in there. And then the slave cylinder pushes on that and it causes it to release the clutch. So you want that to slide pretty freely there. So we're good to go there. So let's get this thing spun back around, put it underneath the truck, jack this thing up, see if we can get it in there today. So wish me luck, y'all. All right, y'all, so when y'all are doing these shifters, there's a bolt right there. You actually have to lower the transmission down a little bit. There, you can see it back in there. You have to lower the transmission down a little to be able to get it into it. Use a short socket with mine's got like a loose extension piece on it. So it has a little, you can see it has a little play. But you can barely get it down in there on it, even with it. But you have to have the transmission down probably about a good 3-4 inches or so from where it sits, and then get it all put back in. So we got got everything lined up. We got it put up. We got, what, 3 bolts in it right now. And then we're just gonna put this shifter on. We're gonna raise it back up, put the cross member underneath that we ended up taking off, and get the rest of the bolts in it. We'll be good to go. All right, y'all, well, that's all she wrote. We got everything back together. Got all the drive shafts in. Front drive shaft, back drive shaft. Got the center carrier back in. Got the little plate on the front of the transmission back on. So she's ready to go. We're gonna move some stuff around back here. And we got all the console stuff put back together. All the shifter stuff, everything's back together. So let's I guess we're gonna open the doors, move the mower, and see how this clutch works. Hopefully my dad done a good job. What do you think? Let's try this thing out, see what happens, y'all.